My beloved child, your case has been opened, and now judgment shall come. Do not tremble, do not fear, for the word I am about to speak is not meant to crush you, but to set you free from what has bound your soul for so many years. What was once hidden in darkness has now been brought into the light. Every deceit, every cunning scheme woven against you has been exposed before the throne of glory. The hour has come for divine justice to speak. The time has come for you to know that I do not turn away from tears, nor ignore the silent cries of a faithful soul. I have seen it all. I witnessed you sitting alone in a quiet room, your heart heavy as stone, wondering why betrayal could come from the very place you trusted most. I heard your sighs echoing in the night, and every tear you shed I have gathered into my bottle. Not one has been forgotten. Not a single word you whispered in solitude has escaped my notice. When you thought I was silent, I was listening. When you thought I was distant, I was recording every deed in the book of heavenly justice. My child, the world may think justice delays, but I declare this to you: my justice is never late. It comes at the appointed time. I am not bound by human schedules. I act according to the timeline of eternity, where all things are perfectly ordered. The delay you perceive is the space for my mercy to be revealed. Before I judge, I always give opportunity. Before I close a door, I always knock 3 times. But when hearts refuse to listen and mock my kindness, judgment comes like thunder upon Mount Sinai, like a flame that cannot be quenched, like a mighty wind that sweeps every falsehood from the earth. You ask, why did you let me suffer so long? Why didn't you intervene when betrayal began? My child, if I had intervened, then you would never have learned to discern truth from deception. You would not know how to distinguish my light from the counterfeit light of the flesh. I allowed it, not because I approved, but because I had a greater purpose to teach you to see through the eyes of the Spirit rather than the emotions of the heart. Some lessons can only be engraved upon the soul through pain. It is there that my grace becomes more real, my power more evident, and your faith refined like pure gold. I saw that person, the one who once held your hand, who spoke words of loyalty, then turned away in betrayal. I knew their hearts from the beginning. They could not hide from me behind sweet words. You thought you were deceived, but I used deception itself to reveal the truth. For I am the one who turns the schemes of the enemy into stepping stones for my glory. Do you remember Joseph? He was sold by his brothers as a slave, thrown into a pit, falsely accused in prison, yet it was precisely there that I destined his rise. What men intended for harm, I turned for good. Likewise, beloved, I am doing the same in your life. When you were betrayed, you thought you lost everything, but in truth you lost only what was never meant to stay. You believed they took what was most precious, but they only took illusions you mistook for treasures. The real treasure I have kept for you. No one can touch what I have ordained. No slander can overturn what I have spoken. For my verdict is written in fire, and no power of darkness can erase it. My child, betrayal is not the end. It is the doorway to rebirth. It is the furnace in which the gold of your soul is refined. You think you are being burned, but I am melting away the impurities, dependence, fear, and the craving for approval, so that I may forge a new shape within you, strong, holy, and radiant. Just as steel must be heated before it becomes a sword, so must your spirit pass through fire to be sharpened for the mission of heaven. Do not see betrayal as a stain, but as a sacred mark allowed upon you to set you apart from the crowd. Through that wound you will discern who is genuine and who is false, who comes from light and who from darkness. Without pain you would walk in naivety, unable to distinguish friend from foe. I permitted it not to make you lose, but to equip you. Understand this. My justice is not blind rage, but divine balance. Everything has its time. When people sow deceit, they think they will never reap. But I am the Lord who ensures the harvest comes in due season. They sow with schemes, they will reap in confusion. They plant in darkness, they will harvest in light. Nothing can remain hidden forever. When my light shines, all things must be revealed. Do not let bitterness take root in your heart. Do not let hatred dwell in your soul. Hatred is not a weapon of heaven. If you nurture it, it will consume you. Let me do my work. Let me judge, and you rest in peace. When I rise on your behalf, none can stand against you. When I speak, every lying mouth will fall silent. When I act, every plot against you will crumble like sand under the rain. Do not strive to prove yourself right. Do not waste energy defending your name. When I vindicate you, my word will outweigh 10,000 of yours. When I advocate for you, no court on earth can object. Trust in my unseen protection. Let me be your advocate, your judge, and the one who grants you pardon. You once asked, Lord, is it fair that I suffer while they walk free? But remember, freedom is not what it seems. A soul may appear wealthy, yet be hollow within. A person may smile outwardly, yet lack peace inside. When I withdraw peace from someone, that itself is a punishment greater than any visible one. But you, though you have wept and suffered, still have me, and whoever has me has everything. Let your heart be still. Let your tears wash away the dust of resentment. Let me place my hand upon your heart and say, Rise, for this trial is not against you. It was opened to defend you. You are no longer judged as a sinner, but stand as one vindicated. You are no longer betrayed, but the chosen one, who will prove that my love is stronger than every deceit of the world. Beloved, you think this is the final chapter, but it is only the beginning of a glorious one. For when a case is closed in heaven, a new destiny opens on earth. This judgment is not the end of your pain, it is the birth of a new season. And in that season you will see me lift you from the ashes, place your feet upon the land of promise, clothe you with garments of glory instead of mourning, and crown you with victory instead of the dust of defeat. My child, now that the case has been opened and the light of justice shines forth, understands this. Nothing that has happened was ever beyond my control. Not a word spoken against you escaped my hearing. Not a plan formed against you went unnoticed. But I did not act immediately, for my judgment is not driven by emotion but by truth. I do not judge with human wrath, but with the righteousness that is my nature itself. You must grasp this, so that your soul may rest. I am never late. I am precise. I am never silent out of neglect. I am silent to complete my work in secret. My beloved child, when you were betrayed, you saw a person turn their back. But in the spiritual realm, I saw something deeper. I saw a battle unfolding between light and darkness. You saw their actions, but I saw the unseen hand moving behind them. Therefore, I am not merely dealing with people. I am addressing the powers behind them. What has happened to you was not random. It was permitted for a higher purpose. Some things can only be revealed when they are tested by fire. And in that fire, not only is your enemy exposed, but the true strength within you is also made known. You thought betrayal was punishment, but in truth, it was revelation. It was like an earthquake shaking an old foundation so that I could lay a deeper, stronger one. You placed your trust in man, and when they fell, you believed you lost everything. But I allowed it so that your foundation of faith could be shifted. You had been standing on sand, and I wanted to place you upon the rock. If I had not allowed the storm to come, you would have remained in the sinking sands of human affection, where loyalty changes with the wind. But now, after being shaken, you have learned that only I am the everlasting foundation that cannot be moved. You ask, why did you allow me to be hurt by the one I loved? My child, true love must be refined. Not so that it fades, but so that it becomes holy. When you love in your own strength, that love has limits. It is easily wounded, easily cracked, easily tainted by expectation. But when love passes through the fire, it is purified of possession control and the need to be reciprocated. You no longer love to be loved in return, but love because my nature within you compels it, the nature of the one who still loves even when rejected. That is the love of the cross. That is the love that caused my son Jesus to bow his head and still call Judas friend, even as he approached to betray him. Do not think that I am unaware of how deeply that pain cuts you. When Judas kissed my son, it was not merely an act of betrayal, it was a wound that pierced heaven itself. Yet I allowed it, because through that deceitful kiss, the plan of redemption was set into motion. Do you see, my child? The harm intended by man can never destroy my purpose. On the contrary, it fulfills it more perfectly. For everything the enemy uses to destroy, I can use it to create. That is why I am called the Redeemer, for I redeem not only souls but situations. You once thought that being betrayed meant you had strayed from the path. But I tell you, you were right where you were meant to be. So right that the enemy trembled and launched his fiercest blow to stop you. You thought it was random, but it was proof that you were approaching your divine destiny. Remember this, no one attacks an empty vault. The enemy only strikes where treasure lies. And your soul carries riches far greater than anything he could ever steal. So when betrayal comes, do not ask why me. Instead, ask, Lord, what are you teaching me through this? Every wound is an invitation to deeper intimacy with me. When no one understands you, you learn to make me your refuge. When others turn their backs, you learn to lean on the hands that never let go. When the promises of men dissolve, you learn to trust the unchanging promises of heaven. I do not deny that you have been hurt, but I assure you that pain will not be wasted. It will become the seed of a glorious harvest. As Joseph once said, "You meant evil against me, but God intended it for good." Yes, my child, what once brought you to your knees will one day become evidence of my grace's greatness. One day when you look back, you will say, "If it weren't for that betrayal, I would never have learned to recognize the voice of God. If it weren't for that night, I would never have understood how bright His light truly shines. Understand judgment, for it has already begun. My judgment is not the vengeance of the offended, but the act of a righteous king restoring order where it was broken. When sin is exposed, it is not to humiliate but to heal. A wound can only be healed when it is opened and cleansed. My judgment washes away what is defiled and reestablishes the justice the world has scorned. Those who pierced you with the sword of deceit thought they could escape, but no one can outrun my hand. Not because I chase them, but because darkness cannot stand when light arrives. Judgment is not pursuit, it is illumination. When light comes, everything is revealed. I need not strive. I simply declare, "Let there be light," and hidden things dissolve. They will find themselves laid bare before truth. They will face their own conscience, the very thing they have buried for too long. I need not condemn them, for truth itself will convict. Whoever rejects light has chosen darkness as their home, and darkness offers no peace. That is their punishment, to live restless, anxious, and afraid without knowing why. But do not rejoice over that, my child. Do not find satisfaction in another's downfall. If you look at them with contempt, you will stand in the place of the judge, and that seat does not belong to you. Your place is beside me in mercy. Pray for them, as Jesus prayed, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." When you pray like this, you not only release them, you release yourself. I know it is not easy. Forgiveness does not mean denying the pain. It means refusing to let that pain define you. Forgiveness is declaring that you no longer belong to the darkness of the past, but to the light of the future. And when you do this, you enter a freedom that even your betrayer cannot comprehend. For you are no longer bound by what they did, you are held by my love. My judgment is coming, but not as punishment upon you, as vindication for you. You will see me act, but do not let pride rise in your heart. Let your tears mingle with gratitude. For I am not only addressing what was wrong, I am restoring what was lost. I am not only ending wickedness, I am ushering in a new season of grace. When you see things shaking, do not fear. When old doors close, do not mourn. When those who once walked close are removed, do not cling. These are signs that I am reordering your circle. I am cleansing your atmosphere, removing what no longer aligns with your calling. I am preparing you for greater things. And like the potter, I must sometimes break the old vessel to reshape it into one that fits my design. Do not see judgment as a storm, but as a cleansing rain. Do not fear the thunder, for the sky will be clear afterward. Do not dread the shaking, for only what is unstable will fall. Everything that is from me will remain. And in this shaking you will discern what is true, what is false, what is mine, and what was only an illusion. Be courageous and keep your heart still in the silence of faith. Judgment is coming not to destroy but to purify, not to end you but to renew you, not to prove who is right or wrong but to reveal who truly belongs to me. And you, my faithful one, you belong to me. My beloved, my judgment is not merely the full stop to what is wrong, it is the bell that marks a new beginning. When I close a chapter, it is not to leave you standing in ashes, but to lead you into the dawn I have prepared. What was stolen I will redeem. What was destroyed I will rebuild, not as it once was, but better, deeper, stronger, and bearing the unmistakable imprint of my hand. For I am not only the God of justice, I am the God of restoration. My child, you once thought judgment was wrath, but in my hands judgment is the instrument that unveils redemption. I remove what has rotted so that true life may rise. I sweep away what is counterfeit so that what is genuine may appear. And in that very process I am separating you from connections that no longer belong to your destiny. You are not being discarded, you are being chosen to be purified. Judgment does not come to end you, but to reposition you. I am placing you back in your rightful place on the heavenly map where you had drifted off course through mistakes, misaligned bonds, and empty promises. Everything you have lost, people, opportunities, reputation, even your voice, I will restore. But before I do, I must cleanse the foundation. I do not set treasure upon mud. I do not pour holy oil into a vessel with cracks that have not been refired. My judgment is the furnace by which I reshape the form of your soul. I do not allow you to be broken. I allow you to be bent toward my purpose. I do not destroy. I cause rebirth. Like a potter who breaks a flawed jar to fashion a new one, I am doing this in your life. This is not punishment. It is recreation. When I formed Adam, I breathed the breath of life into dust. When I recreate you, I also breathe new breath into your spirit. Each breath of mine declares, live again. And you will live not as before, but as one raised from the ashes. I have heard the words you spoke in solitude. I have nothing left. But I say to you, you have me, and having me is having all. What slipped from human hands has not slipped from mine, for I hold time, memory, and destiny. I can take what was lost in the past and bring it back into your present, restored, renewed, and lifted higher. Not a single tear has fallen in vain. Not a single prayer has been forgotten. When you said, Lord, I cannot bear this, it was then that I lifted the burden you did not know you were carrying. Look around, though. You see only desolation now. I am sowing seed. You cannot see it yet because it lies hidden in the soil, but the harvest will come. And when it does, you will understand why the old had to decay. A seed can only sprout when its husk dies. So too, the things you believed were lost are merely the shells being stripped away so that true life within can rise. This is why I judge not to destroy, but to make way for life. Do you remember the olive trees in Gethsemane? Before oil can flow, the olives must be crushed. Without the pressing there is no oil. Without tears there is no anointing. Therefore what you have endured is not meaningless. It is a sacred process leading you into true anointing. You have wept. You have been pressed. And from that pain holy oil is flowing, the kind that only those who have been crushed can carry. My beloved, I declare that heaven's justice has been established. The lies that wounded your name, I am dismantling them. The accusations that hung over you, I am erasing them. Every sentence pronounced by man I have overturned. You are no longer defined by sin, but called by a new name, redeemed, restored, anointed to rise and step into my season. Some thought they could dim your light. They imagined that by pushing you down, your radiance would be extinguished. But they did not know that my light in you does not require human approval to shine. It shines on itself because it springs from an unfailing source. You need no defense. Your very life will be the evidence. I will cause my glory to blaze upon you until those who mocked must bow, not because you seek revenge, but because I desire the world to see that grace is stronger than evil, light stronger than darkness, and love stronger than every deceit. Look back over the road you have traveled, every betrayal, every night of tears, every desperate prayer. All of it has become the material with which I am building this present moment. I use what the enemy hurled at you to construct your throne of victory. For I am the Lord of reversals. When the world says, "It is over," I say it has begun. When people declare, "There is no hope," I command, "Live again." When the enemy says, "You have lost," I set upon your head the crown of the overcomer. Now judgment is no longer merely a declaration, it is being executed. Lies are being pulled down, veils are being torn away. Those who stood upon injustice will feel their thrones shake. And I, the righteous one, am rewriting the story. Every record that was distorted I am correcting. Every honor that was stained I am cleansing. Every door that was shut before you I am opening. Every laugh of scorn I am turning into heaven's applause. Keep your heart humble. The greater the grace, the softer your heart must be. Do not use new glory to answer old darkness. Let your silence become your testimony. Let your forgiveness prove that you belong to me. Let your peace be the victory the enemy cannot touch. True victory does not lie in watching your enemies fall, but in no longer being bound by them. You are living proof that judgment and mercy can dwell together in one God. For I have judged evil, and I have shown mercy to the faithful. You are the embodiment of justice tempered by love, the witness that grace can rise from ashes and that righteousness can blossom from wounds. My beloved, prepare your spirit. For after judgment comes restoration, and after restoration comes commissioning. I do not heal you merely to set you at ease, but to make you a conduit of healing for other souls. I restore your voice not merely so you may sing, but so you may proclaim. You will speak of justice, of grace, and of the power of the one who has delivered you, and those crushed by injustice will hear your voice and rise. Step out from the ashes. Cast off your mourning garb, for I have clothed you with garments of glory. Wipe your tears, for I have placed in your hand the key to a new season. Say to your soul, "Bless the Lord, for he has judged righteously and he has restored me." Judgment has come not to end you, but to begin what has never been. And now I speak once more. Your case has been closed in heaven, and your destiny has been opened on earth. The angels have received their orders, the gates have swung wide, and favor is pouring like rain. Enter not as the wounded, but as the chosen, the reborn, the sent. And I, the Lord your God, declare judgment is complete. Now the restoration begins. My beloved child, now that judgment has been carried out, I come to anoint your soul with restoration. Be still and listen, for I no longer speak to you from within the thunder, but through the gentle whisper of the wind. The storm has passed and dawn is breaking. The ground that seemed ravaged is now nurturing new life. Everything you thought was lost I am restoring, not by your hands, but by my breath. You have passed through the fire and were not consumed. You have walked through deep waters and were not drowned. You are living proof that grace is stronger than adversity. I did not bring you out of trial as one broken, but as one marked by glory. The scars upon your soul are no longer signs of pain, but seals of victory, evidence that you were held in my hands. When the world looks at you and asks, "How did you stand through it?" all you will answer, "Because the hand of the Lord upheld me." I know you have grown weary. There were moments when you felt you had no strength left to believe, no breath left to pray. I know, for in those moments I carried your breath and turned it into prayer when you could no longer speak. When your lips could form no words, I heard the cry of your heart. When your heart beat only out of habit, I saw a faint spark still flickering beneath the ashes, and I shielded that spark with my hand until the wind ceased. It is time to live again, not merely to survive, but to live abundantly, not merely to breathe, but to inhale the breath of new life. For I, the Lord of resurrection, am calling you out of the tomb of despair. Rise as Lazarus did when he heard the voice of Jesus calling Lazarus, "Come forth." Likewise, I am calling your soul out from the grave of forgotten dreams. You thought all was dead, your vision, your voice, your faith, your joy, but I declare it is not over. All that seemed gone is being summoned back to life, and this time not in fear but in power. You once believed that healing required the erasure of memory. But no, my child, I do not erase the past, I transform it. I use the ashes to enrich the soil of new growth. I use the wounds to birth testimonies. I use the tears to water the seeds of blessing. And I turn what once caused pain into the very strength others will need. You do not need to forget. You only need to let me redefine its meaning. What made you weak yesterday will make you strong today. What once silenced you will now give you a voice. What once was a burden will now become your wings. For everything in your life, both good and painful, is in my hands. And when I hold it, nothing is wasted. You will look back and see that I never wasted a single sorrow. Every tear was a seed. Every fall was a new beginning. Every failure was a lesson. And every betrayal was a doorway into destiny. I know you are still afraid to trust again, afraid to open your heart, afraid that to love is to lose. But I say to you, do not fear. For this time you will not walk alone. I am surrounding you with people of light souls anointed to uplift you, not to wound you. They will come not to take, but to give. They will not dim your light, but help it shine brighter. These are divine connections, chosen not by your emotion, but by my intention. In the past, you trusted too easily. You opened your heart to those I did not send. But now I am teaching you discernment, not so you will close yourself off, but so you will know how to guard what is holy. A wise heart is not a cold one. It is a heart that guards its sacredness. Let me be the gatekeeper of your soul. When you hand me the keys, you will never open the wrong door again. You ask, "How will I know who is true and who is false, my child?" Look for fruit, not for words. Those who are from me will bring peace, not confusion. They will build, not tear down. They will listen, not condemn. They will speak with love, not with control. For those who walk in light will reflect light. And as you walk in the light, you will no longer be deceived by disguised shadows. This is a new season. It carries not the scent of tears, but the fragrance of hope. No longer the cry of sorrow, but the song of the redeemed. I am breathing my breath upon you. Every cell of your soul is awakening. Dreams, once buried, are stirring again gently, yet powerfully, like sprouts breaking through dry ground. And soon people will look at you in awe and say, "Is this the same one who once fell?" And you will answer, "Grace happened." Restoration is not a race, but a journey, one that unfolds day by day, hour by hour, in stillness and faithfulness. Each time you choose to forgive, you are healing. Each time you choose to believe, you step closer to peace. Each prayer you whisper, even the smallest one, lays another stone in the foundation of your future. Be patient with yourself, as I have been patient with you. For I do not see you as broken. I see the masterpiece I am shaping you into. You are my workmanship, not shattered, but being remade, not abandoned, but being lifted, not forgotten, but being prepared. Everything I do is on time, and right now I am weaving together the loose threads of your story into a tapestry more radiant than ever. When you look back, you will see that the dark threads did not ruin the picture, they made the bright ones shine. Now let me say this once more. You are no longer defined by your past. You are no longer imprisoned by accusation. You are no longer betrayed but chosen. No longer one who dwells in darkness, but one who carries light. Rise, wipe your tears, and lift your eyes, for my glory is shining upon you, and I, the Lord your God, declare, begin again. Not as the old self striving to recover, but as a new creation stepping into the world for the first time. Walk with courage, love with a healed heart, believe with opened eyes, speak with an anointed voice. For what lies ahead is not compensation, it is breakthrough. You are not merely being restored, you are being multiplied. Not merely repaid, you are being completely renewed. This is my word to you today, my beloved live. For in everything you thought was lost, I am breathing life again. In every place that once died, I am breathing new breath. In every shadowed corner, I am shining light. And within you, I am restoring my image, radiant, whole, holy, and full of power. When I say your new season has begun, it is not mere comfort, it is a creative decree. Every word from my mouth carries life, and when I say, live again, all of heaven moves to fulfill it. So do not see this as a distant promise. The moment is now. You are standing in the very hour where destiny begins to shift. Not tomorrow, not when you feel more ready, but today, even as the marks of pain remain, I am making all things new. My beloved child, do not be surprised when I begin calling you out of your comfort zone. Restoration is not remaining in perpetual ease. It is being made whole so you can go. I did not heal you, so you would sit and retell your pain. I healed you so you would step out as a bearer of fire. The wound that was once your weakness will become the place where my power flows. From the very point where you were pierced, light will shine. Just as Jesus appeared to his disciples with the nail marks still in his hands, not to reopen the past, but to prove that love has triumphed over death, so you will not need to hide your scars. They are no longer evidence of collapse, but testimony of victory. I did not save you so you would live in memories, but so you could write the next chapter. And that new chapter begins when you dare to step out of the old place. Do not look back like Lot's wife. However familiar the past may seem, it is barren ground if I am no longer there. Do not grieve what is past, for I never take away the good without intending to give something better. When I cut it is so you may grow. When I close it is so you may be opened. When I allow one path to shut it is because another already prepared, though unseen, awaits you. You once said, "But I do not know where to go." My child, I do not require you to know everything. I ask you to take one step. Faith is not seeing the entire road, but trusting that every step you take will find my footprint there. Like Abraham, who left his homeland without knowing his destination, simply because he trusted the one who called him, so his faith made him the father of many, so it will be with you. When you walk by faith, you open a way not only for yourself, but for those who will follow. There are things I am giving you in this season that you have not seen, not because they were absent, but because your eyes were once full of tears. Now that your tears are wiped away, your vision is widening. You will begin to see opportunity where others see limits, potential, where others see ruin, and you will see me in what seems ordinary. I will teach you to see with heaven's eyes, not with earthly reasoning. Those who once mocked you will be confounded unable to understand how you stand tall after so much loss. They will wonder how you can still smile. And then you will say, "Not I, but God in me." In you they will witness a peace the world cannot give, and they will know only my presence can do this. And you, my child, will become a mirror of grace for those still wandering through trial. You will no longer be merely the comforted wounded, but a carrier of healing. I will give weight to your words, for they are written in experience and steeped in tears. When you speak, hearts will feel a fire rekindled within them. When you touch someone with love, they will sense that it is my embrace they receive. You are not merely a survivor, you are one who is sent. I am entrusting to you a strength that no easy victory can bestow, the strength of mercy. Only those who have suffered deeply can love deeply. Only those who have been misunderstood know how to listen. Only those who have fallen know how to lift others up. I am using every one of your wounds to fashion you into a perfect instrument of my love. Remember this. Do not let the past define your new identity. You are not the betrayed, but the redeemed. You are not the survivor, but the one who is sent. Your true identity is not shaped by what you endured, but by the one who called you out of darkness. If you continue to view yourself through the lens of your wounds, you will always see limits. But if you look through the lens of grace, you will see the sky open wide. Your destiny did not begin at the place of your hurt. It began before you were born. I wrote your name in the book of life before you drew your first breath. I placed within you capacities, seeds of glory, sparks that only the night can reveal. You did not come into this world to live small. You came to reveal a facet of me that no one else can. Therefore, do not compare. Do not look at the lives of others and think they move faster, higher, brighter. You do not know the price they paid. Nor must you chase after them, for you are on the trajectory I designed uniquely for you. Fix your eyes on my hand, it is holding you. Match your pace to my breath, no faster, no slower, only on time. This is a season of new oil. Yesterday's oil is not enough for the road ahead. Old habits, old ways of thinking, old relationships, they will not fit the place I am leading you. Be ready to be renewed day by day. Open your heart for me to pour into you wisdom, clarity, and spiritual strength you have never known. I will make you sensitive to my voice, not through grand signs, but through the stillness of the Spirit. My child, it is time for me to enlarge your influence. But before I set you on higher ground, I must ensure your roots are deep. The deeper the root, the taller the tree. So do not fear when I lead you into a quiet season. It is not delay, it is preparation. I am driving your roots into the soil of my word, so that when the winds rise, you will not be moved. Remember, what begins in me endures through every season. What is built by human strength collapses, but what I build stands firm. Therefore, do not grasp by your own might. Let me be the builder of the house. Let me be the foundation, and you need only be faithful. As you obey, I will do the rest, opening doors, forging connections, and placing you where you yourself could never have imagined. The old season has passed, and the new gate stands open. You need not knock, I have opened it. You need not compete, I have appointed it. You need not fear being left behind, for I never leave you. You do not walk alone. Angels accompany you, and the Holy Spirit guides every step. Let faith be your eyes and obedience be your feet. And as you walk, you will realize you are not merely entering a new season. You are stepping into the very promise I spoke long ago. You will sense the river of grace flowing around you, carrying away every remnant of the old, leaving vitality, freshness, and joy in its wake. All that I do is for love. Judgment is for love. Cleansing is for love. Healing is for love. And restoration is the summit of that love. For in all things my purpose is not merely to rescue you from what is harmful, but to lead you into what is best. So walk on, lift your head high, for my light rests upon you. Live as one redeemed, gentle, yet powerful, humble, yet radiant. Let every word you speak and every work you do reflect my glory, and when others look at you, they will see me. My beloved, I speak to you today as I once called Moses at the burning bush, remove your sandals, for the place where you stand is holy ground. For in the midst of the ruins of pain, I have kindled a flame of calling, not a fire of destruction, but a fire of mission. I used the fire to purify, now I use it to send. The flame that once burned away your fear will now consume your limitations. And from the ashes you will rise, not as a bearer of wounds, but as a bearer of glory. You once begged me to rescue you, but I have come not only to save you, I am making you an instrument of rescue. You once wept over injustice, but I not only wipe your tears, I place within you a hunger for righteousness. You once ached from being silenced, but I not only restore your voice, I make it a trumpet for the new season. My child, I do not heal you merely for your peace. I set you as a wind that will stir the world. For true grace is not only received, it is carried. And as you step forth with a healed heart, you will bear my power to heal others. I am calling you into a new depth of obedience, not obedience born of fear, but of trust. You have known me in your pain. Now know me in my glory. You learned to lean when you were weak. Now learn to walk in power when you are strong. You bowed your head in the storm. Now stand in the light. For I have breathed my breath into you, and that breath will make you live, speak, and act with the authority of one who is sent. My child, do you not know that I chose you from your mother's womb? It is no accident that you are still here, though many times you felt you would fall. It is no coincidence that you did not die in the fire, for I ordained that the very flames would prove you were kept. As with Daniel in the lion's den, as with the 3 friends in the furnace, as with Joseph in the prison, I allowed them to be thrown into trial to show that my grace is stronger than every chain. And now I am doing the same in you. You did not survive merely to tell a story, you survived to bear witness. You once cried, Lord, I am not enough, and I have said, yes, you are not, but I am. When you are weak, my power is made perfect. When you step back, I step forward. When you come to the end of yourself, there is room for me to act. This is why I chose you, not because you are flawless, but because you depend on me. I do not look for the strong, I look for the willing, and you, my beloved, are that one. Now listen closely, I am placing a torch in your hand, not to keep for yourself, but to carry into the night and kindle the wandering. With every step you take, light will spread. With every word you speak, darkness will recede. With every act of love, I will cause the fruit to multiply 100-fold. You are a small spark in my hand, but when I breathe upon you, you will become a flame that cannot be quenched. The world longs for true light. It is weary of polished lies, cheap belief, and conditional love. That is why I am sending you not to speak pretty words, but to live a life that reflects truth. Not to argue, but to be present. Light does not need to justify itself, it only needs to shine. When you enter a room, my presence will go with you. When you speak, my words will sound through you. When you love, others will feel a love that surpasses human limits. Remember, the calling is not a burden, but an honor. I have not placed it on your shoulders to make you tired, but to make you soar. Like an eagle riding the wind, you will learn not to fear the gusts, for they are the very currents that lift you higher. Do not avoid the wind, ride it. Do not fear the waves, walk on them as Peter did. Keep your eyes on me, and you will not sink. The storm does not come to drown you, but to raise you to greater heights. As you go, do not seek recognition. Do not let the applause of people drown out my voice. I did not call you to be famous, I called you to be faithful. Keep this in your heart, a flame burns long, only when it stays near its source. If you try to work apart from me, you will run dry. If you remain in me, your lamp will not go out even when the world blows hard, for I am the oil that keeps it burning. You will meet souls, as you once were wounded, doubtful, and lost. Do not lecture them, love them. Do not try to fix them, lift them. Do not strive to prove, be present. For a loving presence heals more than 1,000 pieces of advice. Remember how I stayed with you when you wept, stay with them the same way. When you embrace someone with my heart, heaven itself moves. Knowing that this road is not easy, but it is worth it. There will be weariness, misunderstanding moments when you want to stop. When that happens, remember, you are not working for me, you are working with me. I do not send you alone, I go with you. When you speak, I am in the words. When you are silent, I am in your breath. When you are tired, I am your new strength. When you fall, I am the arm that lifts. Not for a moment are you alone, for my presence is your shade in the scorching heat. My beloved, I am teaching you something deeper. Restoration is not finished when you are healed, but when you become a healer. Forgiveness is not complete when you forgive those who hurt you, but when you help others find that grace. Love does not peak when you receive it, but when you give it. Live this way, and you will not merely walk in grace, you will become a river of grace. This is the hour to step into your true role, a bearer of fire in an age of frost, a singer of hope in the night, one who speaks of justice with the very breath of mercy. I chose you not to blend in, but to stand apart, not to add to the noise, but to be the call, not to chase power, but to embody love. I give you a new name, the name of one who is sent. You are no longer a seeker of validation, you carry it. You no longer beg for open doors, the doors stand open. You no longer need to prove your worth, it has been sealed by the blood of the Lamb. All that you need has been given now. I wait for you to believe, so walk on, my beloved. Carry the flame I have set within you. Move through the night unafraid, for you are my lamp. Tell the world that my justice is not distant, that my mercy has no limit, and that my restoration knows no border. As you do, heaven will smile, for the child once betrayed now bears the mission of glory. You will go, but not alone. I will go with you. Wherever you set your foot, my light will touch. Wherever you speak, my word will sound. Wherever you pray, the heavens will open. You are living proof that grace is real, that love is mighty, and that nothing, no betrayal, no wound, no judgment can thwart the plans of God. My beloved child, now that you have been restored, healed, and sent, grasp this deeper truth. Glory is not the destination, but the next testing ground. Glory is a brilliant light. It reveals everything. Without deep roots, it can dazzle your eyes. So, when I raise you up, I also teach you how to stand in that light. There are those who think trials only come in suffering, but the truest trials come in splendor. In the valley, it is easy to cling to me. On the mountain, it is easy to forget who lifted you. That is why I teach you humility, so you will not lose me among my gifts. The most dangerous lack is not having nothing but having too much, not being forgotten by others but being deceived by yourself. I have given you power to walk in the light, but remember, power is never separate from surrender. Act apart from me, and power becomes a burden. Act in me, and power becomes a fountain. Do not try to keep the light by your own strength. Let it flow through you. You are not the source, you are the lamp. I am the oil that keeps the flame alive. Remember David, the shepherd who became king. In the solitude of the fields, he had only a harp and a faithful heart. There I anointed him. Before Goliath, it was not strength that prevailed, but trust. When he ascended the throne, I taught him not warfare, but humility. To rule, one needs more than power. One needs a heart that depends. So too, my beloved, I am leading you from the wilderness to the palace, from hiddenness to visibility. But the place of visibility is also the place of scrutiny. The brighter the light, the more shadow tries to creep in. Guard your heart, for glory is a gift easily misused. Do not let admiration become a sweet temptation. Do not let success drown out my still small voice. If you listen to them more than to me, you will drift from my path without noticing. I know you longed for this day, the day I lifted you from the ashes and set you on the mountain. Now hear me tread lightly. The summit has no room for pride. Higher places bring stronger winds and thinner air. Only those who know how to bow remain steady. Remember, the eagle flies high because it uses the wind to rise, not to show its wings. I have not given you glory so you would be exalted, but so I would be exalted through you. Everything I do in your life is not to prove your worth, but to reveal my nature. When you are loved, let them see me in you. When you are honored, return the honor to me. When they praise you, smile and say, "It is the Lord's grace." Each time you give the glory back to me, you are freed from the burden of keeping it. My child, understand that I do not merely want you to succeed. I want you to be holy in your success. Many are lifted up, but few remain pure. Therefore, as I enlarge your influence, I also expand your training. I will allow you to face flattery so you learn not to be swayed. I will allow you to hear criticism so you learn not to grow bitter. I will place you among crowds so you learn to keep an inner stillness. Here is the secret of the chosen: they do not strive to stand out, they strive to be faithful. And it is precisely faithfulness that makes them shine without trying. True light does not come from self-display, but from the presence of the Holy Spirit. Let me teach you to live this way: quiet, yet powerful, humble, yet radiant, hidden, yet fruitful. Beloved, do not fear if you find yourself relearning things you thought you knew. Elevation does not mean the end of testing. It means testing at a higher altitude. The enemy cannot pull you down by the old methods, so he will try new ones. He will no longer come with sword and spear, but with praise, no longer with betrayal, but with flattery. But do not be afraid. I have placed within you a compass, my Spirit. He will warn you whenever you begin to drift. He will trouble your heart whenever you forget me. And if you will listen, you will not lose your way. My child, keep the heart of a shepherd, even when you wear the crown of a king. That heart is why I chose you in the first place. Do not let the throne make you forget the flock. Do not let glory overshadow compassion. Do not let applause make you forget the quiet cries of those who hurt. If you will still kneel down, I will keep lifting you up. When I say rule, I do not mean rule over people, but rule over yourself. Only the one who conquers self is truly strong. Master your emotions so anger does not harden into resentment. Govern your words so truth is not tainted by pride. Steward your time so you do not forget me in your busyness. This is the art of the anointed. They are shaped not by circumstance, but directed by the Spirit. My beloved, remember that all glory has a purpose. I do not give you influence to make you an idol, but a mirror. Not so others will exalt you, but so they will recognize me. When they see you love where you have the right to hate, they will see me. When they see you forgive where you have reason to retaliate, they will know me. When they see you bow when you could stand above, they will sense my presence. Keep your heart like soft soil. If you let it harden, my seed will not sprout. Do not let today's success rob you of yesterday's dependence. Keep praying as you did when you were weak. Keep weeping as you did when you were hurt. Keep seeking as you did when you were lost. It is this posture that keeps you alive in my life. I do not only want you to go far, I want you to go deep. Deep in the Word, deep in love, deep in the knowledge of who I am. Only the deep can stand firm. Shallow waters evaporate quickly. Deep waters stay cool through every season. I desire your soul to be like such a deep lake, quiet yet vibrant, reflecting the heavens and unmoved by passing winds. Remember, this glory is not a reward for faithfulness, it is the result of it. When you are faithful in little, I set you over much. When you are faithful in secret, I will honor you openly. Yet even then, remember, glory is not yours, it is mine. Humility is what will keep you within the glow of that glory. And now, my child, I declare, you have been restored, you have been sent, and now you are being raised up. But always remember, my throne is unlike the world's thrones. It is not built by power, but by service. Not by applause, but by tears. Not by fame, but by love. Continue to walk in this light, my beloved. I am leading you into a season where heaven and earth will behold my glory revealed through your life. Yet keep your heart as at the beginning, tender, faithful, and loving. My beloved child, when your light begins to shine, darkness will also stir. When you reach the heights, the enemy will no longer attack with fear, but with a lure. He will not come with a roar, but with a sweet whisper. Therefore be watchful. Often the greatest danger is not in what you fear, but in what you like. Keep your spirit soft before me. Softness is not weakness, it is the strength of those who listen. A hard heart may help you stand, but only a soft heart lets you hear my voice in the gentle breeze. When you are placed in a position of influence, when your words can move others, I look not only at what you do, but at why you do it. The motives of the heart are the measure of purity. There is a subtle darkness, the darkness of reputation. It does not come to destroy you outright, but to make you self-destroy. It does not ask you to deny me. It merely whispers, you can do this on your own. Believe that, and my flame in you begins to fade. Remember, what turned an angel into Satan was not a single deed, but pride. Pride seldom arrives like thunder. It enters as the thought, I no longer need him. That is why I say guard your heart above all else, for from it flows the springs of life. When the heart veers, everything you do, though it may still resemble my work, loses its soul. A song may still be sung, but without anointing. A sermon may still be eloquent, but without power. An action may still be right, but without love. I did not call you to do great things apart from me. I called you to abide in me, and only then does your work carry eternity in it. I know you long to be used. You once prayed, use me. I heard you. But now, as I am using you, you must let me direct you. If you let busyness replace my presence, even spiritual work can turn into an idol. Many serve me, but no longer sit with me. They carry my name on their lips, while their hearts chase results. When that happens, they grow weary, for they labor for me without remaining in me. I do not want you to burn out on the way. That is why I keep calling you back to quiet. Do not fear stillness. In stillness you will hear me more clearly than in 1,000 noisy prayers. In stillness you will remember that you are not the source, only the conduit. If you do not return often to the spring, the water within you will grow cloudy. Let the Spirit wash you daily of pressure, of expectation, of self-satisfaction, so your soul stays clear. When people praise you, bow low. When they honor you, return the glory to me. When they call your name, point them to mine. People may adore you today and turn away tomorrow, but I, the one who chose you, do not change. You do not need to protect your reputation, only keep your heart true. If you keep your heart pure, I will keep your name upon my heart. Do not fear when misunderstandings arise. Do not worry when some turn away. Do not be surprised when those who once applauded grow cold. Through this, I am teaching you to live, not by human approval, but by me. I do not permit everyone to understand you. I permit those who belong to you to understand you. If all understood, you would feel no need of me. If only some do, you must return to me for affirmation, and thus I keep you near. My beloved, I teach you to love even while being misunderstood, to love without needing to return, to serve without needing recognition. True love does not rest upon fairness, it rests upon obedience. When you love like this, you love as I love. When you give without expecting back, you live in my nature. Live so, and no power can touch you. for you have stepped beyond the world's control. I am forming you into a leader of light, not one who stands over, but one who lifts up, not one who commands, but one who serves. I do not need more leaders in name. I need those who stoop to wash feet. When you humble yourself, heaven will raise you. When you serve with a clean heart, I will entrust you with a power no one can take for true. Power is not in position, but in surrender. Remember Jesus, my son, before whom every knee shall bow. He knelt to wash his disciples' feet. The Creator took the dusty feet of his creatures and made them clean. That is the summit of glory. Glory is not in a throne, but in a towel around the waist, not in the cheers, but in the act of love. Therefore, my child, if I lift you high, remember to keep the towel close. My child, never forget, true light does not fear the darkness, yet it does not despise it either. Walk through the dark without being drawn by it, and without judging it. For I did not call you to be a judge, but a lamp. Your mission is not to prove who is right or wrong, but to shine so that others may see for themselves. Light does not argue with darkness, it simply shines and darkness retreats. You will find some who come to you not because they love me, but because they see my light in you. Love them, but do not let them divert your steps. Serve them, but do not let them turn you into their Savior. You are not the Redeemer, you are the signpost pointing to Him. Do not carry the weight of hearts only I can heal. Give them love, but give me their burdens. If you try to do my part, you will run dry. When you grow weary, return. When the fire within you burns low, do not fan it with your own strength. Let me breathe upon it. When you can no longer hear my voice, be still and wait. I have not left. You have only wandered into the noise. I will come in the quiet. I do not arrive in thunder, but in the gentle breeze. When you feel far, stop running, and you will see I am still beside you. This is the secret of the anointed. They dwell amid glory without losing holiness. They hear my voice even among applause. They stand among crowds, yet keep the solitude of the soul. They are given power, but do not forget to kneel. They travel far, but return daily. And I want you to be one of them, a vessel I can trust to carry my light to the ends of the earth without being consumed by its own flame. The greater the light, the deeper the roots. Do not fear the darkness, approaching fear, losing communion with me. Do not fear failure, fear success without me. Do not fear losing influence, fear losing my presence. For it is my presence that is the true treasure, my beloved, fruit. After every season of glory comes a season of testing. Light is not only given to shine, but also to be proven. When I place light within you, I do not merely want you to bear it, but to guard it. Light is not just a gift, it is a responsibility. And darkness, my child, will always try to extinguish what I have kindled. But do not fear. No flame I have lit can be overcome by shadow. The wind may blow fiercely, but the more it blows, the brighter it burns. You must understand, trials do not come to destroy, but to strengthen. Fire purifies only through fire. Likewise, your faith, if never tested, remains an idea, not yet a nature. That is why I permit the winds to rise, not to quench, but to reveal what truly lives within you. Now you enter a deeper layer of the spiritual battle. This is not a war of flesh and blood, but of truth against deception, of light against shadow, of my will against your own. Darkness rarely comes dressed in terror. It often comes clothed in sweetness, reason, and safety. It will whisper, "You have gone far enough. Rest now." It will murmur, "You've done enough. Stop striving." But remember, rest is not retreat, and peace is not withdrawal. When the enemy cannot make you fall through fear, he will try to lull you to sleep through comfort. I have not called you to slumber in the light, but to contend within it. Therefore, clothe yourself with the armor of my Spirit, not by human might, but by spiritual discernment. Your sword is not your opinion, but my word. When you wield it, darkness trembles, for nothing can stand against truth. Yet do not use my word to wound others. Use it to guard your heart. The enemy does not fear those who talk about Scripture, he fears those who live it. Do not think this battle rages only outside. Most of it unfolds within you. For I am separating the parts of you not yet surrendered. When you feel pulled back toward what once bound, you do not despair. It is a sign that I am revealing what still needs to be yielded. Do not fear exposure. I expose not to shame, but to heal. I do not want you merely to work for me. I want you to become like me, and that can only happen when the shadows inside are brought into the light. This is the time I am sharpening your soul like a sword in my hand. Every word you speak, every act you take, will be refined by fire, not so that I may see if you are worthy, for I already know, but so that you may see that you were made to stand. Do not fear when people turn away, nor when certain doors close. You are not being rejected, you are being refined. Those who do not resonate with your light will drift away, for what is in you unsettles what is not. Do not mourn what I remove. Each separation is a preparation for a divine connection. My child, I do not want you hardened, I want you purified. Hardness closes the heart to avoid pain. Purity opens it and trusts me to protect it. Hardness is born of fear. Purity springs from love. You do not need high walls to stay safe, only stay within my embrace. My hand is a fortress stronger than any weapon. Spiritual warfare is not always loud. Sometimes it unfolds in silence, in small choices, in fleeting thoughts, in the moments you choose. Forgiveness over resentment, faith over doubt, patience over impulse. That is where the true battle lies. When you win in what no one sees, you will stand firm in what everyone sees. I have said whoever is faithful in little will be entrusted with much. Therefore do not underestimate the quiet victories. Every time you choose what is right in solitude, heaven records it. Every time you refuse to compromise, though no one sees, I smile. Every time you stay silent, instead of defending yourself, the angels take note. You do not need the world's approval, for I am preparing to place on your head a crown that only those who have overcome in the dark will wear. In this season I will unveil things once hidden. Masks will fall. What is false will be exposed. The difference between the genuine and the counterfeit, between light and shadow, between those sent and those self-appointed, will become clear. Do not fear when you see this, and do not judge. Keep your heart pure. I show you these things not for accusation, but for preservation. When I allow darkness to draw near, it is not because I have departed. It is because I want you to see me more clearly. The brightest light is only revealed in the deepest night. You will learn what those who have never fought cannot know. True peace is not found in the absence of storms, but in the knowledge of who stands in the midst of them. My beloved, do not be afraid when you feel alone on the battlefield. Those who fight at the front rarely have crowds around them. Yet know this: angels surround you. I have sent them before you, behind you, and on every side. Even when your eyes cannot see, heaven is moving on your behalf. As Elisha said to his servant, "Those who are with us are more than those who are with them." 2 Kings 6:16. Believe this, my child, and when the battle passes, you will not be the same. You will no longer fear the dark, for you will know that darkness is merely the stage where light proves itself. You will no longer tremble at the voice of threats, for you will know that my voice is louder than all others. You will no longer be swayed when the world shifts, for your roots will have sunk deep into the rock. And then I will call you what you truly are, one who has overcome. My child, a conqueror, is not one who never falls, but one who always rises. Not one who never fears, but one who keeps walking even while afraid. Not one who knows every answer, but one who still believes when understanding fails. I do not seek perfection, I seek faithfulness. For faithfulness is the language of heaven, where promise and obedience become one. This season is not meant to weaken you, but to strengthen you in purity. You will emerge from the fire not only shining with light, but with light that has been proven. You will no longer merely speak of the light, you will become it. And wherever you go, darkness will recede, not because you shout, but because your soul has been saturated with my presence. My beloved, the true battle is not around you, but within you. The enemy cannot touch your spirit unless he first finds a foothold in your mind. He knows he cannot destroy what I have created, so he aims to make you doubt what I have spoken. From the beginning he has not changed. He still whispers the same question, did God really say? And so he comes to you now, murmuring, is he really still here? That is the first arrow of darkness, doubt. It does not arrive with noise, but with silence. When you pray and hear no reply, when you seek and see no sign, when the things you once held certain turn unclear, that is when he whispers, if God loves you, why is he silent? But my child, I am not silent to frighten you, but to mature your faith. I do not hide to abandon you, but to teach you to find me by spirit, not by feeling. You are used to hearing me through impressions, words, and signs. But now I want you to know me through my unchanging presence. When you cannot hear yet still believe I am there, that is true faith. When you see no evidence yet continue to walk faithfully, that is true love. When you feel nothing yet remain steadfast, that is true devotion. Do not fear the days of my silence. My silence is not absence. It is the space where your soul is being shaped. Like a seed buried in the soil, it hears nothing, sees no light, yet life stirs within. So when you hear nothing, trust that I am working in the quiet. When you see no way, trust that I am opening one in the unseen. My child, darkness will always try to imitate my voice. It knows you long for guidance, so it will mimic my tone to deceive you. It will speak sweetly, mixing truth with poison, but lacking the breath of love. Remember, my voice never brings confusion. When I speak, even my hardest words carry peace. When I warn, even my sharpest truth holds compassion. The enemy's voice, though it may sound reasonable, always plants fear, self-doubt, or pride. Therefore, do not listen with your fleshly ears. Listen with a heart refined by fire. A wounded heart hears through pain. A fearful heart hears through suspicion. But a healed heart hears through love, and only love recognizes love. My voice always bears my nature, never rushed, never threatening, never contrary to my word. If a voice makes you forget kindness, it is not mine. If a voice makes you exalt yourself above others, it is not mine. If a voice steals your peace, it is not mine. Learn to be silent before you answer. Learn to pause before you act. For haste is the door the enemy most delights to use. He cannot topple one who stands firm in stillness, but he can trip the one who runs without knowing where they are going. Remember this: every decision born of fear will yield regret, but every decision born of peace, no matter how small, bears my signature. My beloved, I know your soul is weary. The battles unending have weighed your heart down. You have fought, prayed, believed, waited, and at times you have wondered, when will this end? But my child, remember, no night lasts forever. Even when clouds thicken, the sun has never ceased to be. It is merely hidden. So it is with my presence. Even when you cannot feel me, I am still there, and dawn will come in its appointed time. Do not let exhaustion make you careless. The enemy does not strike when you are strong, but when you are tired. He will whisper, "You've done enough. No one sees your effort." He will make you believe your faithfulness is in vain. But I tell you, not a single tear you have shed in the dark has been forgotten. I have gathered them all in my bottle. Every time you chose to believe instead of give up, you won another victory. Every time you rose when no one saw, I inscribed it in the book of life. Understand, this battle is not to destroy you, but to train you into a holy warrior. I am teaching you to fight not by force, but by spiritual stillness. The enemy shouts, but heaven moves in silence. Darkness breeds chaos, but light triumphs through order. Therefore, when you keep your peace in the midst of the storm, you are doing what darkness cannot comprehend. Your peace is a weapon I have given you. It disarms the enemy. Keep faith as you keep breathing. Faith is not merely believing I will act, it is trusting that I am acting even now. It is not a feeling, but a choice. Each morning when you wake and say, Lord, I still believe, that is a victory. Even if nothing seems to change, each declaration shakes the unseen realm. Faith opens the door to miracles, but sometimes the greatest miracle is not what happens around you. It is what happens within you, that you still believe. Do not seek me in the world's noise. I am not in the commotion, nor in the raging wind, nor in the consuming fire, but in the gentle whisper. As I came to Elijah in the cave, so I come to you. I do not want you running everywhere searching for signs. I want you to learn to stand still and know that I am God. When you stop, you will see I never left. When you are silent, you will finally hear what I have been saying all along. Learn to see every trial through heaven's eyes. Do not ask, why is this happening to me? Ask instead, Lord, what are you teaching me through this? When you change the question, you change your reality. For trials do not come to punish, but to unfold. Pain is not a sentence, but an invitation to go deeper into grace. I am teaching you to see all things light and shadow alike through the lens of love. And when you learn this, you will realize that even darkness must serve my purpose. All things work together for the good of those who love me. Everything that once frightened you will become a tool I use to teach you courage. Every tear that once fell will water the seeds of hope within you, and you will understand the battle was never meant to break you, but to crown you. My beloved, when I look at you, I do not see one who is weary, but a warrior being refined. Not a fragile soul, but a flame being fanned into strength. Do not think I have forgotten you. In the very days you thought I was farthest, I was nearest. For when you no longer hear my voice, I am speaking to you in another way, through endurance, through resilience, through the faith you cannot explain, yet somehow still possess. That faith itself is proof that I dwell within you. A new season has begun. The old has passed away, and what I promised is rising like dawn after a long night. Not a blinding light of haste, but the gentle light of morning, where each ray touches your soul, warming the places long grown cold. This is the hour of renewal, not only around you, but within you. For true restoration does not begin outside. It begins in the depths of the soul, where I am laying new foundations. My child, I do not rebuild what is broken in its old form. I do not patch cracks that will split again. I create anew. What once shattered is no longer a burden, but becomes material for what is unbreakable. Like the potter reshaping ruined clay, I am using your failures, your tears, your lost years, to form something stronger, humbler, and more radiant. I know you once asked me to restore things as before, but I never take you back to what was. I take you forward to what is better. If the past had been enough, you would not have needed the fire. If the old road had been secure, I would not have shaken it to lead you to another. So do not look back. You no longer belong there. The old people, the old dreams, the old structures, they have fulfilled their purpose. Now I am writing a new chapter in the book of your life, every line soaked in grace and glory. Do you know why I waited so long to intervene? Because I wanted you to learn that true restoration is not born from human hands, but from mine. Not from effort, not from calculation, but from mercy. Only when you are at the end of yourself can I begin. Only when you have no strength left can my power be revealed. If everything happened while you still felt in control, you would think it was your doing. But when it happens as you have nothing left, you will know it was me. And then I am glorified. My restoration is not mere return, it is transformation. It does not simply give back what you lost. It changes you so you no longer fear losing. True restoration is not recovering the old, it is becoming the kind of person who can carry the new. I am enlarging your soul so it can hold more light. What once caused pain, will now become a vessel of grace. What once brought shame will now become testimony. What once seemed like an ending will become an opening to a new beginning. Look and see what I am doing. I am giving you back joy, not the shallow kind, but the deep, peace-rooted joy. I am teaching you to laugh again, not because everything is perfect, but because you know everything is held in my hands. I am causing your heart to beat again with hope, your breath to move in rhythm with grace. This is the hour of Isaiah 61, when ashes become crowns, mourning becomes praise, and the broken become rebuilders. I am restoring your honor. I saw when they mocked you, when they spoke lies, when they said you had no worth. But I have thundered before heaven, enough. Now I am lifting you, not for revenge, but as proof of my faithfulness. This elevation comes not from human approval, nor from applause, nor from reputation. It comes from me, the one who sees in secret and rewards in the open. I will make those who once dismissed you acknowledge that my grace truly rests upon you. My child, do not be surprised when I begin sending new people into your life. Some will come to build, not to test. Some to love, not to use. Some not for you, but for me within you. They are ones I have prepared, refined, and taught, so that when your paths meet, two flames will join and illuminate places you never imagined. Do not doubt when grace begins to flow again. Do not fear when love returns, for this time it will be pure, holy, and enduring. My beloved, I will restore your voice, the one silenced by pain and fear. Now it will resound with the authority of the redeemed. When you speak, others will listen, not because of volume, but because of the life carried in your words. Every word will bear the oil of anointing, healing those broken as you once were. I am turning your story into a weapon of mercy. Not a single sorrow has been wasted. Every wound that once bled will now pour forth life. Believe that I am giving you double for all you have lost. Not double in possessions, but double in grace, in understanding and communion. Like Job after the trial, you will receive not only what was stolen, but more than you ever dared hope for. For I do not merely redeem, I multiply. I do not just restore, I transform. I do not simply return, I overflow. When I restore, I also realign your sight. You will look back and realize what you once called failure was actually guidance. What you once called loss was protection. What you once called delay was my perfect timing. You will laugh not because the past is gone, but because you finally understand it had a purpose. Every tear you ever shed I have used to water the seeds of this harvest. Now is the moment when I awaken what has slept within you. The dreams you buried will rise again. The visions you set aside will unfold. The gifts you thought had faded will return stronger, deeper, and wiser. I am reviving the part of you that went silent under pain. And this time when you speak, your voice will no longer tremble in fear, but resound with power. My child, prepare your heart for overflow. The season of lack has ended. The season of abundance is here. But remember, abundance is not given merely for your comfort, but for your calling. I bless you not so that you may store, but so that you may pour. When you pour out, you will never run dry. When you give, you will always be filled. For this is the law of heaven: give, and you shall receive. Sow, and you shall reap. Bow low, and you shall rise. I have worked in the dark so that the light might now shine upon you. Lift up your head and see, your season has come. Not a dream, but reality. Not a distant promise, but living fulfillment. I am placing into your hands what you once thought was lost. But this time you will not drop it in fear, for your hands have been tempered by fire, and your heart has learned to hold with wisdom. Rise, my child, from the ashes. Leave the ashes where they belong. Do not mourn what I have taken, for I am giving something better. Step into the new field, where the seeds you sowed in tears now spring forth in joy. You will see the flowers bloom not because you forced them, but because I commanded them. The wind blows not because you prayed, but because I ordained it. Everything moves in my appointed time, and now is the hour you shall see the fruit of your faithfulness. My beloved, the season of rebuilding has come. The long night is closing and dawn is breaking across the horizon of your soul. All that collapsed is being raised again, but not as before. I do not repair, I recreate. For I am the God who never does half work. What I restore will never return to what it was, but will be better, deeper, stronger, and holier. I let you walk through the fire not to burn you, but to refine you. And now from the ashes I breathe new life. What seemed dead I am calling to life again. The dreams you buried I am awakening. The faith that flickered I am rekindling. I am the God of new beginnings, the one who makes the desert bloom, who brings water from the rock, who turns the dry into overflow. Do not look around with old eyes. In this season you need a new vision to recognize what I am doing. Some things no longer fit your life because they belong to a past season. Do not cling to what I am removing, for sometimes I must empty your hands before I can fill them. Like a farmer who breaks the soil before planting, I am turning the ground of your heart not to wound, but to prepare it for a harvest of blessing. I have heard your prayer, Lord, restore what I have lost. But I say to you, I will not only restore, I will make new. For if I only returned what was you would live within the same boundaries. I want you to step into a fuller version of yourself, unbound by memory, unshaken by fear, unchained from what you thought you needed. I am teaching you to trust me more deeply, to know that grace flows not from your past but from my living hand. Let me tell you a secret. True restoration is not returning to where you once stood, but being carried to where you were destined to be. When Job lost everything, I did not return him to his past. I gave him double in his future. When Joseph was betrayed and imprisoned, I did not send him back home. I raised him to the throne. In the same way, I will not take you backward but forward into what has never been. You once said, I just want peace. But I did not create you merely to survive. I created you to shine. The peace I give is not the silence of fear, but the confidence of one who knows they belong to light. In this season you will no longer live by the fear of loss, but by the certainty that I will never forsake you. Every step, every breath, every decision will be led by my peace, the peace the world cannot give and cannot steal. My child, look closely. New doors are opening. New connections are forming that you may not yet understand. Opportunities are arising not from your striving, but from my orchestration. I have prepared the people, the places, the timings, all fitting together like pieces of a divine tapestry. And as you walk forward, you will see every delay, every detour, every long wait had purpose. They were preparing for this moment, the moment I placed in your hands, the key to your new season. I am not merely restoring what is external. I am restoring your being. Before I change your surroundings, I am healing your soul. I am touching the wounds you buried. I am laying my hand on the places where your heart broke. I am removing the armor you wore to hide your fear. For I want you free, truly free, not just from the enemy, but from the shadow within your own mind. You have lived too long trying to hold yourself together to appear strong, to prove you are fine. But now I do not need your strength, I desire your honesty. For only in truth does healing begin. When you allow your tears to fall before me, I can touch deeper. When you confess your fear, I can replace it with faith. When you let go of control, I can pour down grace. I do not need your perfection, I need your surrender. Remember, my restoration always begins with a word. From the beginning, when the earth was formless and void, I spoke, "Let there be light," and light came. Today I say the same thing about your life. Let there be light. Light in your mind, light in your dreams, light in your relationships, light in your future. Every shadow that once cloaked you is breaking. Every invisible chain is snapping. Every fear that once ruled you is dissolving. This is the season you rise from the ashes, not trembling but radiant. When I restore, I do not merely return what was stolen. I add interest. You sowed in tears, now you will reap in joy. You walked in darkness, now you will walk in the light. You believed without seeing, now you will see because you believed. What once brought you shame will become a testimony to my power. Those who asked, "Where is your God?" will see me in you. And you will understand this restoration is not only for you but for my glory. My child, be ready for a life no longer defined by wounds but by grace. You will no longer recount the past with a heavy voice but with grateful eyes. You will no longer fear being hurt, for you will know that I am in all things. You will no longer wait for human approval, for you will know you have been chosen. I am teaching you to live not as a victim but as an heir. Your restoration will echo farther than you imagine. Those who watched you fall will watch you rise. Those who doubted will have to admit that only my hand could have done this. And as you walk, you will no longer walk alone. Angels are accompanying you. Cairo's doors are opening, and the Holy Spirit is guiding every step. Let the fresh wind of the Spirit touch your face. Let me wash the dust of the road with water from the spring of grace. Let me clothe you in new garments, the garments of one anointed to rebuild ruins, to bind up broken hearts, and to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. And I declare, my child, the season of mourning has passed. The season of rejoicing has come. Where you were wounded, healing will spring forth. Where you were rejected, acceptance will bloom. Where you were turned away, my glory will shine. My beloved child, grace, has finished its work for you. The years of testing, of silence, of breaking all have been forged into a new form, steady and radiant. No longer ashes, no longer burden, no longer confusion, but refinement, strength, and light tempered in holy fire. In this season I do not only restore you, I seal you. This is the hour you are called, not only the saved, but the sent. I have seen your faithfulness in long, lonely nights, when no one saw, no one knew, no one praised. In that very darkness I saw light in you, not the light of perfection, but the light of a heart that would not quit. Every time you knelt in your weariness, I saw. Every time you chose love over resentment, I recorded it. Every time you chose to believe while everything collapsed, I inscribed it in heaven's book. And now the time has come for me to reward you openly. My child, draw near to my throne, for today I set upon your head the crown of steadfastness. It is not cast in gold or silver, but in all the moments you held faith when there was no reason left to believe. It does not gleam with jewels, but with the reflection of faithful tears. This is the crown for the one who passed through the night and kept their trust. And I declare, you are no longer struck down, you are the proven. With this crown I place in your hand the scepter of restoration. It signifies new authority in the Spirit, the authority of one who has overcome not by strength but by surrender. When you speak, darkness will recede. When you pray, walls will fall. When you declare, heaven will answer. For power does not reside in your volume but in the one who dwells within you. You need not shout to be heard. Speak in obedience, and your words will carry the weight of heaven's power. I entrust you with a new commission, not to showcase yourself, but to reveal me. You have been healed not to hoard peace, but to share it. You have been forgiven not to forget, but to help others find the way home. You have been restored not to live for yourself, but to become a vessel carrying life into barren places. Where you once wept, you will help others laugh. Where you once fell, you will lift others up. Where you were once wounded, you will stand as proof that wounds can turn to glory. Hear me. The greatest thing you can do for me is not to conquer, but to love. Love, as I have loved you, with patience, with kindness, with unwavering faithfulness. Love those who cannot love you back. Pray for those who hurt you. See me in every fragile soul. For when you love like this, you make darkness tremble. No power rivals the love born of forgiveness. My child, I am opening before you Kairos doors, doors of mission, of holy alliances, of spiritual influence. But remember, glory always travels with responsibility. Whenever I open a door, keep your heart humble. Enter not with the pride of the chosen, but with the reverence of one holding heaven's treasure. I exalt you not to rule, but to serve. The one I keep enthroned is the one who lays the crown at my feet each day. You thought restoration was the end, but it is only the beginning. For now I will not only work with you, I will work through you. You will be a river flowing from my throne, carrying life wherever you go. Others will be set free at the sound of your words. Atmospheres will shift when you enter. Even the air will carry the fragrance of my presence when you pray. For I have placed within you the current of my spirit, and it will not run dry. My beloved, the world will know you not by fame, but by peace. When people meet you, their souls will grow quiet without knowing why. When you look at them, they will see the gaze of the one who loves. When you touch them, they will feel safe. For my presence in you is now so strong that you need not strive to display it. You need only be yourself in me. Do not look back. Every old fault has been erased. Every accusation is broken. Every closed door turned into an open gate. I have declared, you are free. And this freedom is not merely to breathe, but to fly. Do not let fear keep you by the safe shore. My vast waters are calling. I want you to walk on the waves where reason says impossible, but faith says, come. You will discover that the waters only swallow those who do not trust. They cannot drown the one whom I uphold. Lift up your head. Look, the new heavens and the new earth prepared for you are unfolding. In this season you no longer walk in shadow, but in the light of glory. Every step you take will leave the fragrance of anointing. Every breath you draw will release life. Every tear you once shed will bear fruit for another's soul. And when you look back, you will smile not because you escaped, but because you were transformed. This is no longer the season of weeping, but of wildflowers blooming in the wilderness. Water now flows through the desert, and you are the living proof that every word I have spoken is true. Carry your story, not as a scar, but as a testimony. For what I have done in you, I will now do through you, so that the world may know that the Lord their God still writes miracles. My beloved, now the heavens have opened, and the decree of commissioning has been spoken. All that I have promised, planted, and refined in you has blossomed. The hidden season is over. The time of unveiling has come. This is no longer the season of healing, but of sending, not as one barely restored, but as one clothed with my glory. Everything you have endured, learned, and overcome is now oil to anoint a generation. I chose you not because you were flawless, but because you have been transformed. I do not seek the mighty. I choose the yielded, that my strength may be revealed through their surrender. You have learned that victory does not come through power, but through trust. Now I can place upon you a sacred burden, a weight that does not exhaust but ignites. For the fire within you is no longer the fire of ambition, but the holy flame I myself have kindled, that you may shine amidst a sleeping generation. Look, the vast fields lie open before you. This is not merely a place, but a spiritual territory. There are souls there searching for me through tears, hearts dried and cracking thirsty for the dew of grace, people who appear strong yet crumble silently inside. I send you to them not with words of intellect, but with the presence of my Spirit. You need not persuade, only be present, and my Spirit in you will speak what human words cannot. This mission is not to make you see, but to make me known. When you walk, do not seek applause, seek my footprints. When you speak, do not aim to be heard, speak to awaken life. When you labor, do not strive for praise, labor to delight heaven. For the one who is sent no longer represents themselves, but the one who sends them. I am placing you in realms your eyes never dreamed of. There will be places that seem too great for you, but I have gone ahead to prepare them. There will be hearts you thought unreachable, but I have softened them long before. Walk in peace, for your peace is proof of my presence. Where you are received, I will dwell. Where you are rejected, shake off the dust and move on, for your mission does not depend on approval, but on eternal design. I am enlarging the reach of your spirit. Every prayer you lift will touch lands you've never seen. Every song of praise will stir the heavens. Every act of love will ripple light across nations. Do not think small deeds are meaningless, for in my hands they are seeds of transformation. Like 5 loaves and 2 fish, I can multiply the smallest thing you give if only you surrender it wholly to me. You do not go alone. Angels walk beside you. Every step you take is recorded. Every word you speak carries heavenly authority. When you pray, I command armies. When you cry out, heaven opens. When you stand firm, the kingdom of darkness trembles. You are not a small figure. You are an ambassador of the eternal kingdom. Wherever your feet touch, that ground becomes territory of light. I know there will be moments when you feel unready, unsure, small, but remember, those I choose are never chosen because they are ready. They are made ready in the journey. Everything you have endured was not to break you, but to give you empathy. Only the one who has cried knows how to comfort. Only the one who has fallen knows how to lift another. Only the one who has waited knows how to whisper, "Don't give up." This mission is not yours alone to carry, it is ours. I am in you, working through you, speaking by you. When you stretch out your hand, it is my hand reaching. When you look with compassion, it is my gaze shining through. When you forgive, it is my love flowing from within. You do not need to try to be like me, just let me live in you. Now I light a new flame, not a consuming fire, but a fire of purpose. It will not drain you, it will illuminate you. Let it burn within, guiding those still lost in the dark. Do not fear solitude. The bearer of fire always walks ahead of the crowd. But fear not, I am sending companions, others who burn with the same flame. And when these fires meet, the light will multiply beyond measure. In this season, I will make your voice an awakening, not a shout, but a sound that stirs souls. When you speak, it will pierce the shell of intellect and touch the core of the spirit, for these are no longer your words, they are mine, spoken through you. Some will weep without knowing why, yet their souls will be answering my call. Keep your heart pure, my child. Do not let power make you forget your source. Let love remain the reason behind everything you do. When love is at the center, glory will not corrupt. When love leads, you will not stray from my will. When love burns, the world will recognize me not through miracles, but through how you love. And I say to you today, go, my messenger of peace. I am before you, as light behind you, as a fortress within you, as breath and around you, as cloud and glory. Whoever touches you without my permission touches the apple of my eye. Whoever stands against you will find me standing in your defense. Walk in faith. You need no map for you. Move in the flow of my spirit. You need no perfect plan, for my plan is perfect. You need not fear tomorrow, for I am already there. Everything you need is in my hand. Everything I need from you is a willing heart. My beloved, as you step into your new mission, know that grace goes before you. It not only opens the way, but prepares the hearts you will meet, softens the ground you will sow, and ordains the outcome before you even begin. In my kingdom, there is no coincidence. Every encounter, every word, every moment is designed to release life. You do not walk alone, you move in the current of heaven. You may not see thunderous miracles, but each day you live in obedience, that itself is a miracle. Every time you forgive the undeserving, that is the miracle of love. Every time you choose peace amid chaos, that is the miracle of faith. Every time you keep walking without seeing the result, that is the miracle of endurance. I reveal my power not only in the extraordinary, but in quiet faithfulness. For in the small I build the great. In this season I will multiply your influence. Like a seed buried in the soil, seemingly gone yet sprouting in silence, everything you have sown in the past is beginning to rise. The prayers you whispered through tears are bearing fruit. The unseen acts of goodness are becoming harvest for many. You thought time had passed in vain, but in heaven's reality, no seed is ever forgotten. I am causing the waves within you to reach farther than you imagine. There are souls you have never met who will be touched by your words. There are lands your feet have never stepped upon that will be illuminated by your prayers. For grace has no borders. When I breathe into one, that breath moves outward like the wind, impossible to contain. My child, do not limit what I can do through you, for I am not bound by circumstance, nor by time or space. Do not speak from fear of being wrong, but with faith that I am speaking through you. When you act, do not act to be noticed, but that I may be glorified. When you love, do not love to be loved back, but because you have been loved first. In this season, everything you do is measured not by its size, but by the posture of your heart. For in my kingdom, the motive outweighs the outcome, and the heart is greater than achievement. My beloved, there will be moments when you feel lonely in the mission. Those who once walked beside you may no longer be there, for this next chapter requires a deeper level of trust. Do not fear when your circle grows smaller. It is a sign that I am taking you further. Only those who understand the language of the Spirit can journey with you into new territory. But do not worry. I will send true companions, those anointed to lift you up, not weigh you down, to intercede for you, not to judge you. They will see me in you, and you will see me in them. In this season, I do not want you only to serve, but to rest in me. Rest does not mean stopping. It means moving in peace, working without striving, walking without worry, fighting without fear. I do not call you to work for me as a servant, but with me as a child. When you move in rhythm with my Spirit, all things become light. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is gentle, and you will discover that true peace is not found in doing much, but in being where I have placed you. My child, I am teaching you to hear my voice in the flow, not only in stillness, but even in motion. When you speak, I will whisper direction. When you walk, I will adjust your pace. When you pause, I will say, rest. Be sensitive to heaven's rhythm, never running ahead of my timing nor lagging behind it. Every step you take now is sanctified, and as you move in obedience, heaven will align every element on your behalf. Do not be surprised when doors open so quickly that your mind cannot keep up. I have been preparing this for a long time, waiting only until you were strong enough to enter without pride and humble enough to receive without fear. When my wind blows, no one can stop it. When I lift, no one can lower. When I open, no man can close. And when I speak, no power can silence me. This is the season of divine acceleration. What you waited for years will now happen in moments, not because you are deserving, but because I have appointed the time. I am also giving you wisdom to govern your blessings. For blessings are not held by the hand, but by faithfulness. Do not let what I give cause you to forget the giver. Remember, every good thing finds its meaning only when laid again at my feet. True blessing is not having much, but stewarding well what I entrust to you. When you learn to manage blessing with wisdom, it will not only remain, it will multiply. Do not compare your path to another's. Each person moves according to their own kairos rhythm. While they are being revealed, you may still be prepared. While they are harvesting, you may still be sowing. But know this, I forget no one. Every soul I love walks within my divine timeline. If you are still waiting, it means I am deepening your roots before I let your branches rise. And when the time comes, you will see lasting growth never comes in haste, but once it begins, nothing can stop it. In all I do, the end is always love. I did not send you to build empires, but to plant love. Not to display power, but to reveal mercy. For power without love dries up, but love even without power can transform the world. Let every act, every word, every place your feet touch bear the mark of this love, for where love reigns, darkness bows. You are not the endpoint of grace, but its flow. Let everything I pour through you continue outward. When you share, you will be filled again. When you give, you will receive even more. When you intercede for others, you will find blessings return to you. For this is the divine cycle of the kingdom. To give is to live. Now all things are complete. The testing has finished, justice has been executed, and glory is being revealed. The old season has closed. No more tears, no more ashes, no more weary waiting. You are stepping into the season of fulfillment where promise becomes reality, where what I once spoke is no longer an echo in your spirit but breath in your everyday. This is the hour of divine execution when every prophecy, every vision, every tearful longing arises into the light. Look back on the road you have walked, each step marked by blood, by tears, by faith. None of it was in vain. Every trial has forged you into a sword in my hand. Every silent season has deepened your roots so you may now stand firm against the storm. You have learned to listen when there was no sound to believe, when nothing was seen to love, even when wounded, and this has made you ready to carry my kingdom into the world. My beloved, everything you have endured was not meant to destroy you, but to define you. You are no longer forgotten. You are inscribed in the covenant. You no longer wear the marks of the past. You bear the seal of heaven. Now as you rise, all the heavens know you are chosen. I have engraved your name upon my hand. None can erase it. When the enemy looks at you, he no longer sees the trembling child, but the radiant glory I have placed within you. Walk with the confidence of one restored, not the pride of self-made victory, but the assurance of one whose triumph was preordained. Do not fear the darkness, for you are the light I have sent to shatter it. Do not doubt your calling, for what you have suffered is the very confirmation of your anointing. As Joseph was sold to reach his destiny, as Daniel was thrown into the lion's den to reveal my glory, so too every blow against you has been a stepping stone to elevation. At this moment I am breathing new life into you. Every part of your soul once thought dead is coming alive. Dreams once buried are rising again, stronger, purer, eternal. They are no longer born of fleshly desire, but of my Spirit's purpose. You will understand that what you once called loss was only seed. The seed must fall and die before it can grow, and now your harvest has come. I am giving you a new sight. You will no longer see through the eyes of pain, but through the eyes of grace. You will no longer ask, "Why did this happen to me?" But Lord, how can I use this to reveal you? That is the sign of spiritual maturity. For only through heaven's lens can you see what I see, that nothing is wasted, only transformed. This is not the ending of a journey, but the doorway into a new era. You will no longer dwell in the land of survival, but in the territory of victory. I am expanding your influence not to make you known, but to make my glory flow through you. Your voice will travel farther than your reach. Your prayers will touch hearts I have chosen. Every act of love you offer will become a river of life to the thirsty. Know this, I am pleased with you. Not because you are flawless, but because you stood firm when everything else fell apart. You did not run from me in pain, you ran to me. You did not harden your heart in betrayal, you let it be healed. You did not choose hate. When misunderstood, you chose love. These things make heaven rejoice. For in a world of pretense, you have kept a true heart. I proclaim over your life today a new chapter of glory. Closed doors will now open. Lost opportunities will return multiplied. Dead dreams will rise again, clothed in beauty. Divine alignments are forming not out of need but of purpose. You will be surrounded by those who beat with heaven's rhythm, who share your hunger and faith. They will not exist to elevate you alone, but to amplify the light together. Keep humility close, for humility will keep you centered in my will. Let meekness be your daily garment, For when you bow low, I will lift you high. When you place your glory in me, I will place mine upon you. When you choose to serve rather than rule, nations will know your name, not for your sake but for mine. Look ahead, the promised land awaits. It is not a far-off place, but a season of living daily in my presence. You no longer need to strive to achieve, for everything I desire to give is already in your hand. Live as one who is complete. Love as one who no longer fears loss. Walk as one who knows that heaven and earth uphold your steps. From this moment you will walk no more in tears, but in songs. No longer in burden, but in freedom. No longer in doubt, but in certainty. For I, the Lord, the faithful one, have done this. When you lift your eyes, you will see the light not only surrounds you, but radiates from within you. Every sorrow has become strength, every trial, a testimony, every waiting moment, a revelation of glory. You will go from glory to glory, not by effort, but by overflowing grace. I, who began this good work in you, am also the one who brings it to completion. Not a single word I have spoken will fall to the ground unfulfilled. Your name is written into my eternal story, and that story has not ended. It has only just begun in its brightest chapter. I declare, go in my peace. You are mine, and I am yours. All that I have belongs to you, and all that you are belongs to me. Go forth, my chosen one, for the latter glory will surpass the former, my beloved. This is the conclusion, but not the end. It is the dawn of your radiant season. The testing is complete, the judgments are done, and now only glory remains. Go forth, child of light, for all of heaven sings at the sound of your steps. Thank you for listening to today's message. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell to continue receiving these living words, to build unshakable faith, and to walk daily in the boundless love of God. Amen.